Greetings from Royal Cyber. With the surge in use of mobile devices and mobile applications, there is a heightened demand for integration of mobile application technology with conventional business technologies. At Royal Cyber, we believe in staying ahead of the times. With this vision in mind, Royal Cyber has integrated IBM BPM, IBM ODM, and IBM Worklight in its latest proof of concept developed for the State of Texas Eligibility Program. Under this program, the applicant avails certain benefits from the state. The applicant has to furnish his personal details, details of his previous job, dependent details, and so on. This information is then validated and the applicant's eligibility is determined. Often, this process is a lengthy one, and there is a need to automate this decision-making capability to expedite the process so that the applicant is able to enjoy immediate benefits. This proof of concept attempts to demonstrate how IBM BPM, IBM ODM, and IBM Worklight can cater to the requirement of improved decision-making capability and better control over business processes. The following demo uses a few excerpts from the eligibility program to deploy business rules in determining an applicant's eligibility, his grant percentage, and dole amount based on the details provided. Let us consider the case of two applicants applying for the benefits under the state-run eligibility program. The first applicant is John Smith. John Smith is a 45-year-old male. Let us consider the case of two applicants applying for the benefits under the state-run eligibility program. The first applicant is John Smith. John Smith is a 45-year-old male with a monthly income of $9,000. He lives in his own house. His only dependent is his wife, Megan Smith. Megan Smith is 40 years old. With all these details, John applies for the scheme. The second applicant is Mark Williams. Mark Williams is a 40-year-old male. With a monthly income of $6,000, who lives in a rented house. His dependents are his 36-year-old wife, Ann Williams, and his 10-year-old son, Jake Williams. With all these details, Mark applies for the scheme. Mark decides to check the status of his application in the process flow diagram. He sees that his application is awaiting the reviewer's approval. Peter Russell's, the reviewer, logs into the process portal server. He notices that there are 2 cases awaiting his approval. He reviews John's application, which has been rejected as his monthly income is above the set limit of $8,000. He verifies this result and approves it so that John can view it. He then checks Mark's application, which is valid as his income is below the set limit of $8,000. He verifies this and approves the result, which is available for Mark to see. Now that Peter has reviewed the application, John and Mark can view the result of their applications. John logs in and he finds out that his case has been rejected as his income is above the set limit. Mark logs in now and he sees that his case has been approved as his income falls below the set limit of $8,000. His grad percentage is 30 and the dole amount is $1,800. To fill the details and review them, the coach views of a business process definition developed in the Process Designer of IBM BPM suite are being used. The business process definition comprises 4 activities. The first one is a user task activity named Apply for Scheme that captures the applicant details. The system task activity Invoke Rules application sends the applicant's details to the rule engine and receives the response. This response is then reviewed in Review Result User Task Activity, and upon approval the result will be shown to the applicant through another User Task Activity View Results. The authorities administering the unemployment scheme are the owners of business processes and business rules. Like John and Mark, there are several applicants using this application. At some point, the authorities decide that reviewing each application is an added task that is not necessary. They want the result of the application to be available to the applicant immediately. This task can be achieved in the following manner. The person responsible for making changes to the process flow logs into the Process Designer and he removes the review result activity and the reviewer swim lane from the business process diagram. And then he redefines the transitions between activities. He saves these changes. He logs out of the Process Designer. Let us now consider another applicant, Thomas Wright. Thomas Wright is a 30-year-old male with a monthly income of $7,000. He lives in a rented house. His only dependent is his 24-year-old wife, Lucy Wright. He applies to the scheme and receives a response moments later. Thomas finds out that he is eligible under the scheme and his grant percentage is 25 and his dole amount is $1,750. This case just demonstrated how any change made to the business process definition gets effective instantly. Let us consider another scenario, where John and other applicants whose case got rejected file a complaint with the authorities stating that the monthly income limit is set too low. After several meetings on the issue, the authorities decide to raise the monthly income limit. However, they realize that with the increase in the number of approved applications, the budget may fall too short. To strike a balance, they need to make changes in the calculation of the grant percentage. To make these changes, the administrator, called admin here, logs into the Decision Center Enterprise console to review the business rules and make necessary changes. The authorities decide to raise the income limit from $8,000 to $10,000. In the grant percentage calculation decision table, the authorities decide to deduct all such values by 5. These changes are then deployed to the rules execution server. The administrator will now sign out.